Tuning into a brand new episode of Keeping Up with JoJo. I am so excited to announce that the Kardashians are celebrating their decade anniversary. It has been on the air since 2007, and so I thought, why not share my first story time video of how I met the Kardashians. So if you would love to hear more, stay tuned. On a Friday, me and my friend Rachel, we went to A. trunk show, and she is a jewelry designer out in Calabasas. So of course she's friends with the Kardashians, and she came to Miami, was doing her thing. It was super cute. I remember just like hanging out, running into Dakota, and she was like, "Oh my God, you're JoJo." And I was like, "Yes." She's like, "I see you on social media all the time." And I was like, "Oh, thank you." And I found out that she was like the one who ran the Dash page. The store party was going to be that Wednesday because the hours were different. They were closing early, and it was going to be like this super, super private event. And I was like dying. I was like trying my best to get into it. I was asking the Dash dolls. I was asking Dakota. I literally asked everybody and their brothers. I was like, get me into this event. I have to be there. Like, I literally just need a photo with Khloe Kardashian. That's like all I'm asking for, you know? Like, Tuesday comes around, I go, I spend the $200, whatever. I go back to Rachel's because at that time we were working at a school, co-directors and choreographers on a musical, Grease. So I was like working on like the soundtrack or something and editing it like on Rachel's laptop or whatever. We were like working, showing her all the stuff that I had bought in Miami. And, just like making it like whatever. So I remember leaving, going home, resting up, and then like thinking to myself, wait, do I really, really, really want to go spend the day all in Miami tomorrow and like waiting around just to see if I can find them? And I was like, oh, whatever. But I did it. Totally paid off. So worth it. I remember just like walking around Miami and parked my car, and I was walking over to Dash. And I remember I was sending videos to like friends. Just a day in Miami, looking cute as always. The weather's perfect outside. It looks gorgeous out here. And I'm about to go get ready to see the Kardashians. So, wish me luck. I'm like updated on my like day if I was like a vlogger back then. Basically, I remember I was standing at Dash at sometime I saw like paparazzi like run, and I was like, oh, where are they going? So I was like, let me follow them. So I go, and of course it's the Kardashians, and they're walking into Intermix. I'm like, I've got to go with them. So I go, and I finally try to get inside the door, but the door's locked because I think one of like the bodyguards had locked it. So if you had already been inside Intermix, you're like the lucky few that got to like actually like be there and like hang out with them or watch them shop or whatever. It was only like 3-4 people, but it was just like dope. The paparazzi were like standing on this like flower pot thing or whatever, and they were like able to like put their cameras against like the window and like take a photo of the girls, which was like really like creepy in a way. And I remember standing up there and like standing, and I was all super dashed out with all like my Dash t-shirt and the beanie and everything else. And like Khloe, she was like walking from the other side of the store all the way to like my side where I was standing by the rack. And she looks at me and she was like, she waved, and then she like did her thing with her hair, and she like scrunches it and then like left. And I was like, oh my God, she noticed me. I love her. Like, that was so sweet. So I go stand over there by the Suburban with the bodyguards there. And he did not look like the nicest person. He just looked like, I guess he was doing his job or whatever. I know one girl tried taking like a photo with him, and he like slapped her phone out of his face. I was like, damn. Crazy. So finally, the girls are done shopping, give their bags to like the bodyguard. He goes to put it in the car. Then the other bodyguard's like, yo guys, you need to make space. They need to walk out. And all I remember was telling everybody like, y'all need to like make space for them, because if there's a room, we all get our photos. That's all we're here for, is to get photos. Let's all just work together and it'll be all set, which was something I was down for or whatever. Anyway, so we go, we take our photos, and the girls are like about to walk out, and in a line, like I remember the bodyguard that was standing by the car ended up like next to me, and like when they came out, he put his hands up, and I could not move for the life of me. Like I wasn't going anywhere. He was so strong, like I couldn't move.
And I remember like taking photos, and then like they came out so bad that all I could do was scream. So I was just like screaming, and they take off in their car and they're gone. So then I go back to Dash, and I'm just like chilling, hanging out. I think I was gonna get like a pair of socks or something like little. And I remember some guy like had walked up to me and goes, "Oh, is that you?" And I was like, "Wait, what?" He was like, "Isn't this you?" And I was like, "What are you talking about?" So I'm watching this video play.
Just a quiet day in Miami.
I love you, Jonathan!
There he is! There's a star right there.
And I'm like, I don't get it. And I go, whose page is that? And so I reload his phone, and it says Khloe Kardashian. But then the cover photo is like a photo of me. And I was like, oh my God. And everybody was like, what happened? I was like, I'm on Khloe Kardashian's Instagram. Like, that's crazy. I could not even think of like that I would actually be on somebody's Instagram of that, or like her level. And then I remember just with my phone dying, and I was like, oh, time to go home. So I remember going back to my car, charging my phone, trying to regroup it so I could take photos, because I knew that the party was coming and that they were going to be outside to take photos for the media to promote the new store. So I was like, okay, let me just like take a break. So I call Rachel. I'm like, yo, what do I do? Should I stay? The traffic's going to be horrible. Should I come back to practice? Are you good? She was like, no, just stay, do it. You got to get inside that event. I was walking over to see the step and repeat that says Dash all over. And I was like, oh, perfect. I could take a photo, use it for social media. It could be like a cover or whatever. And then I remember these girls on one side were like, oh my God, that's him. Isn't that him? And that's all I could hear was like people saying like, that's him. Oh my God, that's the guy on Khloe Kardashian's Instagram. And they're like, come over here, come hang out with us, this and that. I was like, okay, cool. They're in the front. I don't have to like, the line was crazy. It was packed. So I remember getting up there. They're setting up the step and repeat got moved over. Simon was setting up. Celebrities started showing up. It was getting crazy. It was about to be like a big event. The cops were there. It was major. Then I remember production came out, started handing out contracts to people that were like in the front, because if you were going to be seen, you had to sign an image release form. All of a sudden, people started screaming because the Kardashians had entered. Kim finally comes out with Simon and Pascal. They take their photos, and Kim is like gorgeous, drop dead beautiful. She's like staring at the cameras, just like how she always does. And she's taking her photos, she's looking. But she's not looking to the right, because that's where I'm standing. And I'm like, oh my God, how are we going to get this girl to look over here? So I was like, I'm going to scream again. So I'm like, Kim, over here, to your right, to the right, look over to the right. She looks over to the right and goes, and then her bodyguard, Pascal, turns around and looks over and goes, I was like, me? Like, did I do something wrong or whatever? I thought I was just like calling her name. Like, I wasn't trying to do anything rude or whatever. Like, I literally was just like, I got scared. Whatever. But the girls in front of me were like, come, get closer. So I pulled in closer to him, and he goes to me, if I can get you in, do you promise me you'll behave? And I was like, of course. Like, you don't even have to question. That's not a problem. He waits, he chills. Kim leaves. Khloe comes out to take her photos. She was out there for like, not even like 3 minutes. She's taking her photos, whatever. She looks at Simon to let him know that she's done. And the best part was, Pascal goes to me 1 second. So he goes around and goes over to Khloe, and he's like, hey, guess who's here? And she was like, wait, what? He's here? And turns around and looks at me, and I wave, and she was like, come inside. And I was like, yes? And she was like, yeah. So Pascal was like, everybody make room for him. Come in, move, come on this side. So I literally was like, oh my God, what do I do? I just like ducked down, grabbed my phone, grabbed my charger. I grabbed my phone and grabbed my wallet, and I like ducked down football style and like booked it to the entrance. He goes, 3 rules, don't do anything stupid, don't touch them inappropriately, and behave. And I was like, oh, I got you, don't even worry. So as I'm walking in, the paparazzi, I step in front of the step and repeat. The paparazzi like, what's your name? What's your name? And I was like, Josiah. As I'm walking in, Kourtney Kardashian was like walking out. And we like bumped into each other. And I was like, Chloe. And she was like, hi. And then so she goes outside, and the funny part was the guy who had stopped me from like able to like take photos as they were coming out from Intermix was the same bodyguard that Pascal switched with when he stayed outside with Courtney, and then he came inside with me into the party to like supervise me or whatever. I remember walking in the door, and like right there and then there was Chloe and Jonathan Chevin standing right there ready to greet me. And she was like, "Oh my God, we've been looking all over for you." And I was like, "For me? Wait, what?" And she's like, "Yeah, we thought you were going to come back to the Versace mansion." And I was like, no, I'm not that crazy. I'm not that much of a stalker. And she was like, "Oh, thank you." And then I gave Chloe like the biggest hug. That was epic. I spent the rest of the hours hanging out at the party, filming Keeping Up with the Kardashians Season 9, Part 2. Designed for disaster. So that was epic. And then just, you know, meeting the Kardashians. I got to hang out with Scott Disick, Kim, Courtney, Khloe, and of course the one and only Kylie Jenner. That was so much fun. We did Vine, we took pictures. I mean, I even made her Instagram. It was just like a big moment. I remember people were calling me, and I was only talking to like one person the entire time on my phone throughout the event. It was funny. I remember I was like outside the event, and I was like talking to Rachel, and I was like, "Oh my God, my back hurts. Like, this is crazy." She's like, "You have to get in. You have to get in." And then within like a 10-minute frame, I literally text her, "I'm inside the event." And I was like, "Oh my God, this is crazy." So it was just super cool. I had to sign a contract to appear on the show. We are celebrating their decade special September 24th on E! At 9/8 Central. So don't forget to miss that. And season 14 comes on October. So there's a lot of things to look forward this fall with Keeping Up with the Kardashians. So I was just so excited to finally have like my dreams finally come true and meet them. And what better way to meet them and then have footage to back it up, right?